The galaxy is burning. Brother fights brother, and treason splits the Imperium of man. This is the Age of Darkness. Welcome to the Remembrancers retreat, coming to you from within the depths of the Vengeful Spirit.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Remembrancers Retreat, a Warhammer 30k, Horus Heresy, and Specialist Games podcast. My name is Jesse. I'm here with Austin, Caro, and Jared.
How's it going?
Hey.
Hello.
So tonight, it is Wednesday night. It is the first day of Warhammer Plus, which I picked that up.
That should be how we do all our days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Day one of year one.
Ever since the release, we've only ever counted those days.
Yeah. And I haven't delved into the actual episode animations yet. Been waiting for those to watch a little bit later. But I watched most of the 40k battle report. I watched some of the masterclass, and I'm really impressed with the quality of the production value. They did a good job. I think it's pretty cool. Battle report was nice when they described their armies at the beginning. It was really well done. I thought it was really cool. If I had one complaint, they do a lot of a single overhead shot for a majority of the game, which I'm not huge on, but they do also have some nice side cut shots every now and then, which is pretty good.
Did anybody else watch Old Bailey?
No.
Mm-hmm.
I missed it because I was in Maryland.
And now you're paying for it like a chump.
Now I'm paying for it like a chump.
I super enjoyed it.
I heard a lot of good things about it.
It was great. It was really, really good.
Don't we have it now too?
Yes, we do.
Okay.
Yeah, the music was awesome. The animation was good. I don't know, like, it reminded me kind of that, like, you know, the cartoon Hobbit?
Yeah.
Like, that's kind
Like
of
the
what it
old
reminded me of. Yeah.
It looked like to me, it looked like a Hellboy cartoon.
Oh, I haven't seen the Hellboy cartoon.
Are you talking?
Well, or just the comic series, the art style. So.
Yeah, it was sort of like if the Hobbit and like a kind of anime-ish cartoon had a baby.
Mm-hmm.
Are you talking about the Hobbit where they used shots and drew over them? Shots of people and drew over them?
Maybe? It's from like the 70s.
Jesse, pull up a picture,
Oh,
please.
God. Okay.
You have a computer. We have the technology.
Yeah, this makes for great audio.
You can cut it.
Yeah, I can cut it.
Sift through
See,
800
bam,
Peter
Bilbo
Jackson
Baggins.
movies.
Yeah.
Yeah, they used some weird ass shots.
Yeah.
Too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a really weird,
Mhm.
just in general, very strange, but
Yeah.
I
watched it on
super enjoyed
YouTube.
it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've heard some people complaining a little bit about the animation, but those people can
are
deal with it.
dumb. I mean, they're going to complain about anything.
That's true. They will complain about anything. And I will say, if you're one of those people that like, I guess, a lot of action going on, because sometimes they do one of those, like, it's a still frame, like the camera's moving around a little bit,
Yeah.
or like kind of slower.
Kind of like a animated comic book or something.
Yeah, like in parts. And I don't know if that's just because, like, this is new, they're not sure how successful it's going to be, so maybe they didn't throw quite as much money at it as they could have.
Well, I mean, also,
or what?
Big hand-drawn battles are expensive
Yeah,
to make.
exactly.
Yeah.
So,
I think that's
Let's
really
see if anybody actually watches this before we go hardcore on the potentially millions of dollars it takes to make something like this.
right.
think of like the Berserk movies. I mean, those have like, big epic battle scenes. And even those were made by like Warner Brothers, I think, or like Paramount, or some big name studio. And even, the early ones of those are like, they look a little choppy in parts. So, I mean, GW new getting into this, I think it's top-notch content for them.
Yeah, I mean, I will say I don't watch a lot of like anime or cartoon stuff, so maybe people, I don't know, didn't bother me. I enjoyed the hell out of it. And the story was great. Like it's kind of the classic tale of like Yarick and Ghazghkull, but told, I'm going to do some spoilers, I guess. Is that a thing we do?
It's not a spoiler.
It's not a spoiler. Everybody knows Yarick and Ghazghkull.
Yeah, just...
but it's told from like an orc runt herd, like telling the story to a couple of young orcs. So it's just really funny how they essentially turn Yarick into like this orc bogeyman.
I mean, essentially he is.
Yeah, he is. This is great.
How are the orcs talking? Are they talking normal or are they talking these weird
They
Orc.
talk like really drunk English soccer fans.
Like orcs.
Yeah.
Oh no,
Proper
yeah.
hooligans.
Yeah, no.
Like Victorian era Cockney street toughs.
They do have subtitles on, I guess, the Warhammer Plus version.
But
Like,
is it written in English or is it in Orcish?
it's
Oh yeah.
English.
I don't know if they translate the Orcish to English. I don't know.
That would be
Totally.
hilarious if they just spoke proper King's English. Like, oh, my good sirs, sit down and I shall regale you the story of Yarick.
See, that happens when an orc lifts their little finger.
Some just clicks in their mind.
Yeah, and then they just speak
What?
British
Oh.
English. Dear fella.
But yeah, looking forward to seeing the rest of the episodes that are out today.
It's going to be interesting.
Yeah, they all run about 18, 20 minutes long.
It's not bad.
Angels of Death is also out there too. Looking forward to that as well.
Oh,
Yeah, and I do have my fingers crossed for some heresy content at some point.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna happen.
Yeah.
It's got it.
I will be very excited to watch battle reports of Horus Heresy from GW. That'd be kind of neat.
I want to see Necromunda battle reports because I mean, there's just so much you could do.
Yeah.
Like there's so much.
Yep. We'll say in addition, because I also got the Roku app for Warhammer Plus. Apparently it's on Roku too. So I was like, that's cool. And going through there, through the videos, they also have the old how to play videos out there too, from like 40K,
yeah.
Necromunda.
Oh, yeah.
Got a few small Citadel overview paint videos. The masterclass was really good. I watched the one on wet blending, and I think her name is Louise. Like I said, the video is great. The camera work was great, where it's like, okay, I can actually see what they're doing. And I'll be honest, I never really done much wet blending before, and I don't have any desire to still do it, because that seems like a lot of work.
It's not that hard.
I know.
It's not that hard. He
But
says,
I digress.
not really ever doing
So-
it himself.
But it was cool. She showed it by first painting a 40 millimeter base with 2 colors, and like, all right, this is how you do it. It's like, okay, I get the idea now.
Comparing it to YouTube, was it better or about the same level?
The video quality looks stupendous.
Okay.
Like
That's promising.
it's sharp. It's in, I don't know if it's in 4K. I doubt it's in 4K, but like the lighting was good. I could see everything. Like I've watched like Little Legend Studio videos and stuff, and they're good too. But this one, it just felt clean. Like I felt focused. But I don't know. Can't wait to see more stuff about it. So,
Sweet.
Well, something for everybody.
yeah. And who knows if they're going to move their Citadel bulk of videos over to there eventually too, maybe.
Yeah, I feel like that's going to happen at some point.
Yeah.
I hope they won't delete the ones they already released.
Oh,
but
I doubt they'll delete them off YouTube.
Yeah,
I
no,
know,
they can't get
but,
them off
like,
there.
they can try, I guess, but
Yeah, but having them all in one place wouldn't be.
it would be the worst idea, no.
I feel like it would kind of alienate new people to the hobby if you're taking down like basic painting tutorials off of YouTube.
Oh,
True.
yeah, and that's
Yeah.
not going to happen. And I will say the Warhammer TV app on the phone is free. There's just certain things that you can watch that are only through Warhammer Plus. So they still, and the Citadel Paint app also has a bunch of videos too. So
Oh, it does?
yeah,
Man, I didn't check that out in a few years.
At some point. I'll get around to it.
yeah, I will say I'll go through my apps every now and then. Oh yeah, I forgot I had this app.
Yeah.
You got to be careful doing that because sometimes you delete your authenticator app from your work.
That's why you have a work phone, your own phone, man. And so you can ignore your work phone while you're on a vacation.
Not everybody gets a work phone.
It's true.
Jeez, if they need me.
Anyway.
Anyways, yes.
Anyways, let's not get into it. So moving on to other stuff. Over the weekend, I went up to Maryland where they had a Red Day, which was a small 4-game Horus Heresy, just mini pickup game, mini tournament thing. It was a lot of fun. It was a 500-point game, 2 750s, and a 1,000-point.
Nice.
I had a blast.
So what armies did you play?
Let's see. So the first game, I had Dark Angels. All right, so I played Dark Angels, obviously. And the first one I played against was White Scar Army. And I managed to beat him on that. He had some Outriders and some tactical. I brought a Dreadnought to a 500-point game because I was
you
like,
monster.
Yeah, it's like,
Probably with those dumb Dark Angel rounds, huh?
I mean, they're not crazy these days.
Uh-huh.
It's Fleshbane,
Man.
2 ups. Oh boy, on my one heavy bolter.
It's whack.
Twin
Whack, it's what it is.
So that was the one game I won.
Start off on
there
the
we
right
go.
foot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And start off the right foot. Good time. Second game I played was Solar Auxilla. And those multi-laser rapiers.
But to say, mortals at low points is nasty.
It was a lot of fun though, because while I still lost, I was able to just blast my way through a Tertio and then get to his force commander and managed to Slayer and hand-to-hand combat.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it was a Frenchie up north near Pennsylvania stuff. He used one of the Rogue Trader models. I think it was a Rogue Trader. Yeah, for his force commander. And that was a lot of fun. Even though I paid for it. And he had multi-laser rapiers up on the top. Just overviewing. We were all playing on the 4x4 tables. And I just did not cover at that point doesn't matter, but
Even less so when the rapiers are on top of everything, just looking down at you. Yeah.
But a good time nonetheless. Third game, I played against Word Bearers at 750 points, and that was a lot of fun too. He brought a Dreadnought, and I realized, crap, my 750 point list. I didn't bring my Dreadnought for the 750 point list, and I had nothing to kill armor with in my 750 point list because I built it at 1 a.m. the night before.
So what you're telling me is,
did.
at 750 points, Dreadnought's are OP.
Yes.
But at 500 points, it's okay.
Yeah, it's all pure game.
Well, listen, Austin, he was sitting here the night before the game and just built the list after. Was it on margaritas? I think it was margaritas.
No, it wasn't margaritas.
Don't drink
It was
and
the
list
It
hurricane?
was zombies. It was zombies.
Zombies, yes.
Don't drink and list build, drink and game.
Yeah. But no, don't. I mean, I guess do that. Plastic is fine.
But anyway, it was, again,
Yeah.
a great time. And then the final one, the 1,000 point, I played against 1,000 Suns. And boy, they're rough at 1,000 points.
They're going to 1,000 sun.
But so that one, I brought my champion. I brought a 5-man Deathwing command squadron and an apothecary as my blob,
Yeah,
my Death Star.
Death Star.
Yeah, Death Star. 2 tactical squadrons and the Dreadnought this time. I was ready for that. And my Deathwing command squadron was like, well, Amon's sitting over there, and I can't beat their ass by standing over here. So
It's true.
I marched a good 3/4 of the table with him and, what is that? Scout 1,000 Sun Squadron.
Oh, the
Sniper guys. Like, they just laid into me round after round, and my Deathwing boys just put up their energy shields, and I tanked it for a good halfway through the table. Like 2 or 3 rounds, I only lost 1 Deathwing.
nice. So you were bringing like a Deathwing army,
It felt good.
essentially. Yeah.
And then finally, things started to finally fall apart. But my champion wiped out a 10-man tactical squadron that he put in front of Amon at the last minute. So I couldn't quite get to him, but I did kill a 10-man squadron with a single champion.
Typical
Nice.
1,000 Suns cowardice.
But then he dropped some jet bike hunters with melta guns right behind my Dreadnought. So that was like, okay.
All right, you got it.
Then he was able to drop a few tactical squadrons with Amon Special where they can infiltrate. Managed to get the drop on one side. But it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Everybody was great. It was...
I mean, it's the first 30K event on the East Coast, I think. I mean, discounting Florida, which is who knows what Florida's doing.
Let's not talk
But in
about
our
that.
neck of the woods since before the pandemic, yeah.
Yeah, for me anyway. I think there was like a few minor ones here and there. Close-knit communities doing their own stuff. But yeah, it felt good. Everybody was in high spirits. I won Best Army somehow. I have no idea.
I mean, it's a pretty army, man.
It is a pretty
I'm
army.
looking at what I assume is the Dreadnought you took.
Yes.
And
But,
he's sexy. Look at him with his
thank
little
you.
bone wings.
but yeah, there were so many good-looking armies out there. Like
Yeah, that's
everything,
the rest of it. Well pointed out, Caro.
everything.
The rest of his army is sitting on the other side of the table and just never bothered to look that way.
Yeah, but like Frenchie's Solar Ox were downright gorgeous, beautifully based. It for a split second, it's like I need to get a Solar Ox army.
Mortals have the best time.
They really do.
Yep,
It's just
they're not here for a long time, but they are here for a good time.
Las action is best action.
I mean, not at 500 points, they're not there for a long time, but at 3,000 points,
Yeah, I'm not sure how well we did on his 500 point list.
At 500 points, they are indeed there for a long time. When you can fit 60 bodies into a 500 point list,
I don't think those multi-laser rapiers are that much expensive
They're
either.
only like
No, they're like 40 points.
yeah,
each.
like
And
I don't even think they're 40. Like they're because that's the
Yeah,
base. The multi-laser is the base one.
And they're dropping strength 6 hits. Like, sure, it's not AP3 or anything like that, but when you put out a mass
Roll enough dice,
shot of high strength weapons, regardless of the AP, you're gonna feel it.
and you were running what?
That's why I made 3 of them.
11 Terminators, including the character, and like a dreadnought.
I didn't actually bring those over there. I didn't bring my Cenobites this time. I bring standard power armor. The only Terminator I brought was my champion.
Still, though, there's only but so many bolt rounds to be passed out.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's awesome. I'm very jealous. I had high hopes to make it to that, but alas, could not.
Yeah. Well, it was a good time.
Life happened.
I did represent Richmond a little bit.
I mean, one best painted, so
There you go.
Yeah, he
there it
came
is.
home.
That's the
Yeah.
style, maximum style.
I would say
points.
favorite army.
favorite army.
I feel like, because I was like,
Not
Listen,
you're not
I
willing to
really
own,
didn't feel
not
like-
willing to own best painted yet.
I really, no.
No, he's
There
not.
were some
That time-
gorgeous armies
that time
there.
will come.
Listen, Austin, Jesse came home, looked at me, was like, this event was fun, but somehow I won Best Painted. I still don't know how I did it.
Okay, they're 35 points each. So
Yeah, 35 points each.
Oh,
105 points for that squad.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So you can take one of those, and that's still 350 points for a shitty HQ and a pile of troops.
Bodies on
Yeah,
bodies.
he mentioned he got that unit after watching the Astartes video
Mm-hmm.
on YouTube where they were where the enemies were using the rapier. He's like, I need some of those.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, good time.
Awesome.
10-10.
10-10 would do it.
Thanks, Rob, for running that. That was a lot of fun. It was at Dream Wizards in Maryland. What are you looking at me like that for?
the Praetor.
Oh yeah. So
Sorry, that's way too adorable not to mention.
one of the guys that I know from Facebook also swung by, not to play, but he brought his kid with him, and he had to be like 5 or 6. I don't know. Anyway, while I'm rolling the game, kid comes up with his White Scars Praetor model. He's like, "This is my White Scars Praetor. Can I play?" And he sets it down on the table. It's like, all right. I grabbed some of my tactical squad guys that are already dead and just had a little mini
game.
Yeah.
Nice.
And yeah, he actually had grasp of the rules, which is wild.
Start them young.
Yeah. That
Did
was
you get your
actually
ass
really
handed to you, Jesse?
Yeah, the two tactical boys I put in front of the Praetor did not last very long.
Well,
But
let's just
it was really
tactics on
cool.
your part.
But yeah, that was pretty neat. But yeah. Anything else going on for you guys?
I mean, for the first time in a while, I finally touched a brush again because the Red Angel was screaming too loud for being painted finally. So I started to paint my Ankron model.
Nice.
It's coming along, I think.
He does look real pretty.
Thank you. Of course, I went for the topless version because he's a gladiator and, armor's for cowards, like Gilliman.
This is the Artel W model.
It is, yes. I think I have I have a GW flying around somewhere.
Mhm.
But I don't know where things went.
Moving will do that.
Yeah, it does.
But he's looking real good.
Thank you. But yeah, that's...
How about yourself, Jared? Done anything lately?
Kislev.
Kislev.
I am laboring, not enough, but a lot, at getting 40 winged hussars painted and a bunch of bears, bear cavalry, bear knight. They're going to be great. They're going to be wonderful. It's just so much work.
Yeah.
So many guys.
Mm-hmm.
Are you getting them ready for, what are you guys playing? Warhammer Armies Project?
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
Nice.
Good times. Good times.
With potential move into Old World.
It is.
When that
And,
ever shows up.
well, that's what's
Come-
nice is,
come the happy
Kislev's
day.
going to be one of the factions that gets released, and I'll have, 2,500 points.
Yeah.
Good to go. Which is cool.
Absolutely.
But then I'm going to have to repaint a bunch of character models because they're going to be coming out with a lot of nice stuff.
Oh, you know it.
You can do it,
But I've made
definitely.
peace with that.
Yeah. It's the
Yeah,
price you
God
pay
bless,
for getting in on the ground floor.
God bless 3D printing. I think, basically when this is all said and done, my entire force will be 3D printed.
And
I
then
picked up a
Forge
couple,
will
like-
start putting stuff out.
Yeah.
And then regrets, I guess.
Yeah, it's fine.
What about you, Austin?
So I have been painting my Cawdor gang. got a fun theme for them. I've been doing like water effects on the bases, the whole 9 yards. It's been a ton of fun. Got 3
Cult of the Heron, was it?
Yeah. And I the internet will eventually see pictures of them, but I haven't got to like the grime stage, so they're not actually finished. But for all the actual gang members, I took the man. We had this discussion before.
Yeah.
So I get the bird.
Go back
heads
to the
on.
last episode.
Yeah, I talk about that. So they're all getting finished, and then I finally started painting another little side project of mine. I'm making like a victory square garden sort of thing.
Yeah, I saw a little picture of that.
For Titanicus. Yeah, so it's and like other people have done similar things where you pretty much take a sprue, just a bare empty sprue, and you put it down on the plastic card that's cut in like little tiny squares, like tile. And then you stick some plants or like flowers on it or whatever, and it looks like you paint it up, and it looks just like a kind of those decorative Victorian era gardens, right? Took it a little. I mean, probably not further than. Sure, other people have done similar things, but I haven't seen it. At least I'm taking some epic models, like they're just the basic like Space Marines and Guardsmen, and kind of setting them up on the places of the sprue. Like, you know how a sprue will have like the little round parts? There's like this.
Yeah.
And then like so on top of about half of them, I've put Marines and Guard infantry models to make it. I'm going to paint those up like bronze statues. And then there's a central, like on one end, I'm going to make like a pool, like a little reflecting pool. And I'm going to lose my whole goddamn mind because I am going to paint fish in the pool.
Oh,
What is
God.
wrong with you?
That's going to be some big fish.
Yeah.
It'll be very tiny fish.
So you're going to put orange
6
dots in
millimeter
there.
fish.
It's going to
So they'll
use
be
like,
like
a thin nail.
It'll still
head.
be like carp size.
yeah, I mean they're going to be like the size of a person's leg, right? Like in scale, but it'll be very tiny fish.
So you're going to make a whole bunch of orange dots.
A little bit more than that, but yeah, I'm going to do some coins on the bottom too, which will just be like silver dots.
Looking forward to seeing it.
Yeah.
I guess it's just pour over some clear resin over the top.
Nobody
Yeah, so,
acknowledged that he did that when we do games. Just completely ignore it.
It will be impassable terrain because I refuse to have anybody putting bases on top of those epic models. It's like, you don't fucking touch it. Don't touch it.
Titan can't step on that. The marble would just tear up the.
They
Warhound,
too pretty. Nobody.
No,
wants
listen. If the Titan steps
It's a
on it,
word bearer's monument. Any loyalist would step on it on purpose.
Yeah, so that's the other thing I've done. On the tile, I've done a mosaic. So there's kind of 4 like zones, I guess, where like if you were walking through, that'd be like kind of bigger spots. And I'm going to put stuff like a mosaic in each of them. So the first one, because Steven got to it before Jared did when I was asking for ideas, is just the word bearer like Legion symbol, like the pre-heresy one. So just right on there. So this is going to be a word bearer's erected thing.
It was cool, the tile mosaic you did. I guess it was like a pre-tile or how do I call it? Pre-corrugated, I guess, plastic card or something.
was it already squared?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
God, yes. You can buy them for like all sorts of like grid patterns already on them.
Or like
So I
brick
just-
patterns.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yep.
nice.
Yep. So I bought a sheet of that ages ago and built it quite a while ago. So it's going to be that. And then the statues, and there's going to be some got some roses, like 28 millimeter roses. So it's going to be kind of like rose bushes and like some other stuff like that. But hopefully it'll be cool. I'm very excited to try these fish. 'Cause I don't know, like it was years ago now, but like the crazy like Japanese dude that was painting like koi fish in the resin bowls.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to try like a that.
Yeah, I think you need to do layers and put the fish in between the layers.
Yeah, you paint like the fish as you would see it, kind of like a cross section, and then build it up, and it'll like cast its own shadow in there and be insane. I shouldn't have said that out loud on the internet, because now people are going to be like, "Where the fuck is it? You didn't do it." And I'm going to be like, "No, I got halfway through and it was fucking hard."
2 weeks, people give them 2 weeks, and then
Well, but listen, Austin, when you finish it, it's very easy. Anything which steps on this model just spontaneously explodes.
I mean, it's a word bearer's ritual site, so anybody that crosses it just immediately exploded by demons.
So sucked into the warp.
Joke's on you. I'm into that shit.
Warlord turns around a corner. Whoa!
That doesn't sound very Dorn of you, Jared.
Okay, we've discussed this.
He's given up on that shitty Primarch.
Good, finally. I'm glad.
Swear to God, Austin. In Titanicus, I'm a dyed-in-the-wool trader because they have way more fun on the table. I gotta say.
Well,
but speaking of shitty Primarchs,
hey,
yeah.
Guess what came out this week?
Sag mal, wo kommt ihr
As the drip
her?
feed of Praetor models continue, this week we have the Ultramarines for 30k on the Legion Dispatch.
So how many Praetors came in a row?
this I think
It's
is
been
third.
Ooh, okay. I'll get things up.
Because we had, I think it says over here, yep, they had,
word bearers.
the Word
This
Bearers
coming up Friday.
Yeah, Word bearers,
And
Imperial Fists, and now
Arkatal.
Ultramarine.
and the Sons of Horus also. They revealed they accidentally revealed the
Unintentionally.
power armored one.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
true.
Oopsies.
Malagurst and
Sorry.
Arkatal were the character models that had been revealed this year. We'll say, I do miss the Weekenders where they would just dump like 20 things. I was
Right.
like, this is what you're getting this year.
Goddamn pandemic.
Yeah.
So this Praetor looks like my coworker, and it's distressing.
Oh, the power armored one?
Yeah, the one with the monocle or whatever eye thingy. Looks like my coworker. Oh god.
I will say it is a really pretty model.
It looks nice.
I appreciate how into the Ultramarines aesthetic they kind of sunk.
Yeah, it reminds me a
Yeah.
lot of the old Honor Guard.
Yeah. Like
Mhm.
the power armored guy is like insanely ostentatious
Yeah.
and, just looks like a walking statue.
He does remind me a lot of the older Games
the
Workshop
40K.
models. The metal,
Yeah, the old metal. And,
what are they? The
and,
Masters of the Fleet or something?
no, they were
Well, and-
they were the Honor Guard, right? Just space
Yeah.
Ultramarine Honor Guard or like.
No, there's like Master
Oh,
of
the
the
guys
Codex,
with,
Master of the Fleet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fits right in with those. Sure, the scale's a little bit better now, but regardless. I love that
Well,
giant
and the,
eagle shoulder pad that he's got. That is definitely the Honor Guard.
Yeah.
The Terminator just looks like they made him as big as they possibly could.
Okay.
And that's just like, Ultramarines are like, oh yeah, he's a big deal. So we made him huge.
Am I the only one who looks at that unhelmeted head and sees Uncle Iroh?
I knew that face looked familiar.
Right?
Uncle Iroh's head looks less weird.
He's about to play a game of Pai Sho.
No, he never looks well, I guess no, he does look that mad sometimes.
He's looked that like frown of disappointment.
Yeah, he has the eternal face of I'm not mad at you, I'm just disappointed.
Yeah, like I wish you were better. Be
Yeah.
better. You
As
can be better.
As he shoots his combi melta into
Right.
your face.
That is
Yeah.
a sexy compy melta though. I do
Yeah, the
like that.
pattern looks cool. I like how that I guess the
The over-under is...
the over under is nice. The I guess I don't know what you would call it, the beveled stock. I'm not a gun guy, so it's a pattern of combi weapon that I've never seen before.
And it's got a red dot sight, which, given his bionic eyes, got to be superfluous. But hey, whatever.
It probably triangulates. It triangulates.
It does math for
with,
you?
with
Cool.
2.
Okay, how extra those arm thingies have the Ultramarine symbol on it?
The little
This
tabards. Yeah.
In case you forget, this is
Well,
an
he's also got a
Ultramarine.
couple on the ends of the purity.
Oh yeah, let's count them. Let's
Yeah.
count them.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
11.
Yeah, who knows what we got on the back there?
Yeah.
On the side of the axe. I like that axe.
I really hope there isn't any Ultramarine symbols on that axe because I want it.
I bet.
It
It's just-
You know there's
offends
gonna
me
be.
that an Ultramarine should have such an axe.
It's
as a
just-
space
there is
player.
going to be.
Listen, this Ultramarine has a Omega upside down tramp stamp and is proud about it.
But hey, even
No,
on the
it
weapon,
looks-
it's just a Dremel away.
Carol, it is
A
confirmed.
little bit of plastic glue.
There is an
away.
Ultramarine symbol on his face, on the hat,
Wait, what?
on the helmet.
Oh, the helm has the.
It is
Oh, yeah,
engraved in it. Oh god!
Oh, yeah.
Not gonna lie, it looks really cool.
You will not be able to convert this to another chapter.
No.
Green stuff at all.
Without
And
Mike
hope.
DeBolt might.
I mean, if you want to put
I doubt
enough
it.
work into it that you've just could have sculpted another model from scratch.
Yeah,
you could.
basically.
No, listen, this is the
It would be
Horse
easier.
Squirrel Ultramarine. All of those are the horseshoes. It's gonna be fine. It's gonna work.
His weapons are nice. I really like
Yeah,
that
no,
combi
it looks
bolter.
Yeah. But Caro, there is one thing we should revisit though. There is precedent in Black Library novels for Space Marines having butt cheek tattoos. In the Inquisition Wars novels, there's an Imperial Fist captain who they remove his armor and he's got like I can't for the life of me remember what it is, but he's got a butt cheek tattoo, and that stuck out to me. I don't like. Okay, well.
Okay, internet, help me here.
One of those.
Yeah,
things
yeah,
that
yeah,
always-
yeah.
Don't
Listeners,
wanna
if
Google
you-
that, Caro.
Get your VPN on. VPN on. I saw today some people were saying, "Hey, do you think this guy was originally a 11th chapter Marine?"
Oh, because of the line?
Because of the line
Oh.
through, it was like, "Oh, it was 11th. Now he's the 13th captain or 13th."
Yeah, right.
That would be
Legion.
funny
Like
as
the
shit, but there
Ultramarines
is
would take it,
no
but
way
not.
an Ultramarine, like I can believe that they would have taken those guys.
Yeah.
There's no way they would have given them a suit of Terminator plate. And
Or made him a
important.
captain. God.
Yeah, like that. No. Gulliman refuses.
Caro
I
is,
found it, I think.
oh boy, share with the class, I guess.
Okay, first cadet Darner Lysiander, the Imperial Fist, blah blah, first founding cadet, and the symbol of the Imperial Fist is tattooed on his buttock.
Wait,
So you've got a fist on the ass of every Imperial Fist. Because now
I don't know if it's everybody because it is the long Warhammer 40k wiki, and I really don't want to.
I can only assume it's all of them.
Where?
I
How
can
can
only
I?
assume it's instructional.
How can I search for buttock here?
But I will say that the power armor
Caro's
Praetor-
phone's just going to start glowing with an evil light in there in a second.
with the power armor Praetor, he looks like he's trying to sell me stocks and bonds. I
Yeah.
feel like there's a little Jim Cramer going on there. And I'm not a huge fan of it.
Yeah. But they do ship with helmeted heads.
Yes.
So if you
Thank
don't feel that Uncle Iroh would burn worlds as an Ultramarine, you can just save that bit for something else.
I really do like that Ultramarine
It is
power
a
armor
great-
helmet.
It is a great helmet. And that I think you could use on somebody else. Like you'd have to get rid of the crest because it's got the awkwardly placed Ultramarine symbol.
Yep.
But the helmet itself, like it's got that nice like laurel wreath pattern, like a weird Mark III sort of Mark VII
Yeah.
look to it.
Yeah, the way
Because the sides are very
definitely-
Mark VII,
yes,
but it's still got like kind of the grill echoes of a Mark VI plate in the
the
front.
backpack is still. It's hard to say because the Mark IVs and the Mark 6, 7s are pretty darn close, or not the 6, but the 7s. The knee pad's hard to say because there's just so much on there.
That yeah,
It
like,
could very well be.
it
It
looks
looks
like-
like a Mark 7 almost.
yeah, like it's the same sort of Greaves look, rather than a knee
actually
than a knee
might
pad.
be looking at the very bottom where
Like a
the
6.
no 6. It's hard to say. It's definitely Artificer.
It's Artificer and it's cool. And that's all you need to know.
But yeah, another great model. I don't know if I'll pick this up, but who knows? Maybe I will.
God, no.
No, I'm not touching Ultramarines. No.
Don't, Jesse.
But it was weird. So I was talking to a buddy of mine about this when they dropped a couple of days ago.
Yeah.
And we got to thinking about how many Praetor sets there are
Mm-hmm.
that have been released. There have not been that many.
No.
Like you think, oh, it's been forever. Yeah, everybody's got one.
Because the early ones,
The
or
Raven
generic
Guard
ones.
still
Yeah,
don't
there's
have an
generic
actual 30K model character.
But there's only, I think
Wow,
we
you're right.
said 7, 9.
Yeah.
Let me, but like maybe half the legions, which is just wild. And I'm hoping.
I mean, Death Guard technically don't either.
Yeah.
true.
I am hoping that this is a sign of things to come.
Salamanders? Do they?
No, they don't.
don't think they do either.
Don't I believe?
No.
So it's Blood Angels, Word Bearers, Space Wolves, Alpha Legion, White Scars, Night Lords, Dark Angels, and that's
I wasn't counting, but I think that's less than half.
7.
Yeah,
And then we've
yeah.
got Imperial Fists, right, which just came out. Ultramarines,
Sons of Horus,
Sons of Horus,
Word Bearers.
We already counted
Count
Warbearers.
Warbearers.
So we're at 10?
Dang.
Yeah.
So just over half now?
Iron Hands don't have one. Raven Guard don't have one.
They've at least got like the Forge Father though. Like that is a totally suitable Praetor model for.
Oh yeah, and some of them do have like suitable ones, and technically
Space Wolves.
1,000 Suns. So 11.
Yes, yeah.
So 11 legions out of 18 have them that we know of, either in circulation or about to come out. And the 1,000 Sun ones are no longer available, sold out. Although with the restocks and rebrandings of everything, that doesn't really mean anything.
So I did find, so it was mentioned that a lot of them that say no longer available is due to the fact that they're changing the product code.
Yeah. So like presumably those will be back. Like those are pretty new. I can't imagine they'd go anywhere. But 11.
Yeah. And now they're just cranking 3 or 4 out this year.
Yeah.
Well, this quarter,
maybe.
That's been quick. But
yeah, that's true. Yeah, we'll see.
If we want to,
I mean, they've been showing us. Who knows when they're going to release it? They showed
Yeah.
Argyle Tall like 2 months ago.
Yeah.
If we are going to needlessly rumor monger at this point, one could think that if that plastic box set that we all saw
holiday season
is indeed a holiday season release, that would give them 3 more months to hit the last 8 legions, and then go into a box set with everybody having one.
That's not going to happen.
Which to me it makes good sense to me, because like we are all sort of starved for new like Forge World Horus Heresy product,
or just Horus Heresy.
Horus Heresy in general. So like,
I'm setting my clock for 5:30 on Friday morning.
a lot of people are. So I feel like more people are buying these just because like it's a Heresy model.
Yeah.
And then when you get the new box sets out, the people that want to start Heresy will say, I'm just going to go ahead and buy like my bespoke Praetor models rather than do what everybody did the last 2 box sets, which is take the 2 characters and convert the hell out of them because that's all the option you had.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's my paranoia. I have nothing to back this.
Yeah.
No grains. I'm not putting my money on any of it.
Really?
That's a lot of bandwidth they'd have to devote to it, though.
It'll be nice.
I need to see what those characters look like in the box set, because I think I don't have them in front of me, but I felt like it was a very generic looking.
Yeah, they're both.
Oh yeah.
I mean, isn't this what you want in a box set?
Yeah. I mean, especially for a person who wants to just build a box set for themselves.
Yeah, absolutely.
So Burning of Prospero was rough. There was, you pretty much could not really convert the 2 characters in there.
No, I tried. It was bad.
Yeah.
I did with the 1,000 Suns Praetor a little, or the 1,000 Suns Librarian a bit, and I almost got there, but I never really.
I got the T-Sun's Librarian into a Rune Priest. That wasn't bad.
Yeah, but that Space Wolf guy, he's a Space Wolf.
And
Still going
people,
back.
I couldn't stop people from giving him to me.
Right?
Like, guys,
I think I gave you like 2.
I swear I had like 15 at one point. I was like, I don't want them. I'd be like, no, man, I have 2. Like, I'm good. I'm sad that you bastards would just leave them at my house.
Yeah.
Well, listen, they're all twins. Or how many?
I could have a whole
that
squad
would be.
of them.
Yeah.
And they never turned those into individual model boxes either.
No.
That was the only way you can get Airman.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And the other Space Wolf guy, whoever his name is.
Yeah, nobody cares. Right. And I play Space Wolves.
Greg.
You can still buy the generic.
I'm sorry,
heroes. Craig.
Excuse me, what?
Gregor Fellhand.
Gregor.
The most original, innovative name for a Space Wolf.
Gregor Fellhand.
It doesn't sound any better with a German accent.
False.
It sounds a little better.
All things sound a little better with a German accent.
That's what you think,
You
man.
know the truth.
Oh no.
Well, with that, I don't know, I'm just ready for a new box set.
Yep.
Goddamn straight.
Time will come. Let the plastic
Plastic
30K
Spartans.
tanks flow.
Oh.
Plastic Spartans for everyone.
You got a Spartan.
Just in, business sense terms, it seems like Forge World's only, chance to keep up with like 3D printing is to release plastic.
I mean, they're gonna.
Yeah.
Like for and you can see it,
we
right?
got
Like,
we got pictures of it now, but
when was the last time Forge World released a vehicle?
It was like last year, I want to say. It was the Bombard tank, the Arcador,
Yeah,
I
that's
think,
weird tank nobody liked.
and the Saber.
that was a great tank. I would
The Bombard?
need 3
The
of those.
Saber was
Yeah,
cute.
They're just expensive as all hell.
The Saber was.
I
Right?
love the Saber.
So
Big fan
tiny.
of the Saber.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't go by recent.
But yeah, I think they are going to start moving away from that.
Yeah.
And just go with horrifically detailed character models, which I'm here for.
I mean,
like, not
grand
about
scheme of things, I think that's a good move.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, a tank you can potentially forget in a car and it's not going to get destroyed. Meanwhile, a model, oh no.
I don't know. Why are you forgetting Praetors in the car, though?
I don't. That's
Would you leave your children in the car? Because that's basically the same thing.
It's true.
at least not too much.
Yeah, no, I'm getting it off the Forge World website. Now I'm just kind of like, ooh, everything's all pretty.
Yeah, don't, please.
So, terrain.
Yeah, oh god, Austin brought some amazing books, and it is how to make your own terrain out of things you have at home. It's like Art Attack for adults.
Yeah, it's the old GW. I got the one from, 96?
96.
96, beating out Caro, or Caro beats it out by a year. And then also like the 2003 edition of How to Make Wargames Terrain by Games Workshop, which for people that haven't been in the hobby for like a long time or, weren't paying attention at that point, it's Games Workshop teaching you how to make terrain from scratch.
Out of things you can find at home.
Without GW stuff.
This would not fly in 2021.
No, this is before the days of GW making shit tons of really, really good terrain. And it's fucking, like, a lot of this still holds up, especially the 2003 version. And there's also some great sketches, like, in the back. Because there's a whole section in the back of the 2003 one just called Inspiration. It's like some shots of like, this is a picture of the moon and the English countryside and the Sahara Desert and whatnot. And then what looks like maybe some Jess Goodwin sketches of like various Warhammer Fantasy, like terrain, buildings, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then some 40K Imperial and Orc buildings and just like all sorts of random stuff.
Yeah, in the 1996 one, there's a lot of green. So much green. And a lot of square bases, too.
Yep.
All that goblin green.
Yep.
Yeah.
All that goblin green and the bright red book really brings back the memories.
Stones, villagers.
But they're really cool. Like, there's a whole materials section in the back that tells you, like, hey, this is MDF and chipboard and plywood and, polystyrene and low-density polystyrene and, like, what it's good for and, like, the problems you might have trying to mess with it.
Yeah, it seems pretty thorough.
Yeah.
It's a good-sized book, too.
Yeah, it's like 120-some pages.
It looks like a codex size.
Yeah, it's
Softcover
softcover codex size. And it's got step-by-step instructions on how to make a ton of stuff. Again, most of which still holds up. Like, there's not a lot of egregious ugliness going on. Although in the 96 edition, there's
a palm.
the plants that are just like, take a
goodness.
styrofoam ball. Now put toothpicks in the styrofoam ball. Now spray paint the styrofoam ball green and paint the toothpicks red. Congratulations, alien plant. Like, not gonna win you a golden demon or a crystal brush nowadays.
Listen, that is one of those cacti from Mario Odyssey.
Mm-hmm. But and just some like stupid simple ideas like for hedges and whatnots. It's like, hey, get a pan scour. It's like the green pot scrubbing things. Yeah. Like, get that, cut it in half, glue it to a base, and like prime it black and then hit it with some dry brush. And it looks like an old, just like hedge with some vines in it. And it looks, again, like maybe it's not winning you a crystal brush, right? But it looks really good. Like, it's solidly like tabletop plus quality, right?
I think my favorite here is the making a stone wall, which is take pebbles and glue them onto cork tile. Paint it. It's a stone wall. You're welcome.
And it is. And
It
it's
is.
true. It looks good. Like, rocky hills. This is how to make a rock spire. But some of it's crazy. Like they have like how to make those exotic trees, like the kind of in a marsh. What kind of tree is that? You're like in
like a willow.
Jungle.
Yeah, like a willow.
Florida.
Like Florida.
trees.
Yeah.
The Florida-ness. Or like, hey,
On the bayou.
this is how you make a canal and like scratch-built bridges and
This gives me a lot of the Ring terrain vibes.
Yeah, this one came out 2003, which is right when like all that stuff was first hitting GW's wallets, and that kind of shows. They have a great section on roads. That's just like, hey, just in case you ever thought about doing this, textured wallpaper exists, and it looks just like cobble streets. And so, like, here you go. Or
Master Builder.
Hey, if you've got some like sandpaper, just get some fine grade sandpaper and like glue that onto stuff and paint it. And that's just a gravel road at 28 millimeter. And you're like, you know what? Yeah, it looks good. It absolutely is. Who would have thought? And it gets really crazy, like a wattle fencing, how to design your own building, but from like the trace it out on friggin' graph paper stage to the like final assembly of non-paper.
Too much work.
Right?
It's too much work.
So it's funny. It goes from the like, hey, take this sandpaper and just give it a little dry brush and you're 90% there, to like, hey, have you ever wanted to spend 80 hours making one house and really make you appreciate those $90 per house kits GW puts out? Man, do I have the tutorial for you.
You know what? I'm just going to buy that plastic kit there.
Fuck it, I'll just buy it. But it's awesome. And I don't know if we actually wanted to do this, but Jesse and I had talked before we started, like decided to talk a little bit more about like the homemade terrain stuff, of perhaps a challenge.
A challenge.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah.
Sure, talk about it.
Yeah. So the challenge here.
Oh my God. Now I'm scared.
We will call it, because this is the end of August, right?
Yeah.
So we will say in the month of September.
Oh, Jesus.
Give ourselves a month. Yeah, you did it. We will pick a thing from one of these books that we haven't done before.
Okay.
And execute a build and make some terrain.
I picked a street. The Sandpaper Street.
Right? So we'll make Jared do the building. I hope you have your degree in architecture standing
As
by.
a true son of Dorn,
good to go.
you're going to make it.
Yeah, you got to build houses.
By God, this is going to be the most secure thatched hut.
But it's crazy. It teaches you like how to pretty much build an entire table of like pretty cool terrain, which is wild. The classic like corrugated iron, like the sheeting out of the old cardboard.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just like...
Of course, you can buy it in plastic card now.
You can, but that's fucking expensive.
It's true. Cardboard is
cheap. Free.
They literally give it away.
And surprisingly sturdy for like these purposes.
Yeah.
Think about the environment, Jesse.
Yeah, it's recyclable for when you die and your spouse throws all your crap out.
No, big fire, man. Big fire.
It will make your Viking funeral cooler. Yeah, like a lot of things in these that I feel like are a dying art now that there are so many cool terrain things you can like 3D print or buy from GW or other places. I don't know. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I've seen some videos on the internet of people just doing crazy dioramas and stuff. They fast forward it like 30 times. So even though it's a half-hour video, they spent like 2 weeks nonstop.
40 hours.
4 bathroom breaks.
Yeah.
And I'm like, please tell me you're getting paid for that.
Nope.
Oh my God.
Only in your astonishment.
Listen, Jesse, people are growing bonsai trees, so I guess that is not as bad.
It's true.
True.
But bonsai trees grow themselves, and you just kind of have to direct that growth.
Yeah, you have to wait.
Push
you
it
have to
along.
wait and
Every
not do
little
anything.
leaf, shade the bark, dry brush the dirt.
Yeah, I did not reach this level of Zen, I guess.
Yeah.
Gardening.
Yeah. So there's some fascinating stuff in here. If you can
Building the
get your
piece
hands
in September.
Yeah, if you can get your hands on a copy. What?
They have tortured skeletons on there. Interesting.
Yeah, they do have a section of like, this is the little details from like crap you have lying around in your bits box. And the fun thing is, it is crap you have lying around in your bits box. Like some of the things I've seen online are like, hey, do you have this one bit that's integral to an $80 model lying around? Let me show you how to make this 2-inch tall piece of really cool scatter terrain. Nah, bro.
Yeah.
Nah, I'll build that $80 model. You're out of your mind.
Yep.
But this is like, hey, you got a spare axe lying around? Dwarf player? Here's how to make a wood pile. All right. Cool.
But yeah, that's another thing about the plastic terrain models. They're easy to build and quick. Like most of them are practically half built already.
Yeah. Well, and you can even buy, God, what company was that we were talking about that had the pre-painted stuff?
Oh, Battlefield in a box.
Yeah, Battlefield in a box. Pre-built, pre-painted. It's cool. But I will say there is something, especially if you're trying to like, you know, have your own little gaming room. Because it is always painful, for me at least, to buy terrain because that could be more models towards my army.
Fair.
Pshaw.
And if you build it yourself, you can just make it exactly like you want.
Yeah. There's some like...
And you know it's yours.
I have never regretted a single cent I've spent on terrain.
I mean, neither have I.
Have spent a lot.
That doesn't stop me from not wanting to.
Shameful amount of money on terrain.
But it is cool to be like, oh, you know, your buddy comes over, or like an event needs more terrain. And you're like, oh yeah, I scratch built all this. People are like, damn, you know, get you some street cred. So yeah, that is the challenge.
September, build a piece of scratch built terrain.
Yes, scratch built terrain. And if you do,
yeah, hashtag RR30K, and
we'll say nice things about you.
We'll say nice things about you. Yeah, on the interwebs, and talk about your thing.
And if we're somewhere, or if you're somewhere close and the plague is over, you'll get a beer.
We will buy you beer. It's true. And by we, I mean probably Jared. Because
I'll make you a cocktail.
Yes, Jesse. Jared will make you a
Jared's
cocktail.
Signature cocktails.
And they're really good.
They are real good. And real alcoholic. The man does not stint.
Dude,
doesn't.
Next time we got you guys over, I got some tiki drinks that y'all got to try.
Excellent.
Oh, yes.
I'm serious. Like, have a DD handy because it is... They don't like put a disclaimer on a lot of the videos, but they're like, you should set aside the rest of the day for this.
Listen, there ain't going to be a DD. We're just going to sleep over. It's fine, right?
Okay, that's fine. We got a couch. We got spare beds.
So with all the talk of free beer and free cocktails and stuff, I do got... So normally don't do this. We've never done this, but y'all might want to hold back on all that offer because we've been getting a whole lot of listeners and want to thank you guys for sharing, listening.
Look, it's Jared's money.
You're not going to my booze.
I'm just saying, there might be a line. There might be a line.
That's why I'm saying beer.
You know, before the Delta wave hit, we had that really nice cookout with everybody. You know, Lilo afterwards was like, I'm not having 30 people over at the house again.
Oh.
Well, see, that's where there's enough of us now. You rotate it.
Yeah.
So it'll be like 2 years before we're back at your place, and Lilo will have forgotten
how bad it was.
She will not. I guarantee.
Whew. That was a nice time.
That was a really good time.
Delightful.
But anyway, so back to terrain, because I know last episode, Austin and I were talking about building decks.
Oh, yeah.
For terrain.
From that Age of Hannibal stuff. So, yeah, I've been giving that more thought.
Huh?
So, yeah, Kara hasn't listened, and I'll tell Jared too. So, a brief overview. So, when it comes to creating a table with terrain and stuff, sometimes there's a bit of unbalance. Some of it's subconscious, where you might be building something, but from the direction that you're facing. And then there could be like one side could be a little bit off kilter than the other. Usually you let your opponent pick which side of the table they want to play on after you build it. Or you take
build a table that is exactly the same on both sides, right? Like the classic tournament.
Mirror
a hill
image.
there and a hill there. And
so Austin, looking for inspiration, found in an old historical war game called Age of Hannibal, the method that they use for building a table, and it was pretty interesting, where they effectively have a deck of cards, which will have random pieces of terrain, basically, in the cards. Not all of them have a piece of terrain. Some are like open fields. Others can be like stone wall or forest or things like that. You shuffle the deck. You hand out 7 or 8 cards to each player, and then they take turns placing a card on the table. The table is divided into basically a grid system. And there's going to be more grids than the players have cards to make sure that the whole thing is completely filled up. But each player will take turns placing cards on the table to basically build a terrain set.
So, like, you're trying to play your terrain, to be most advantageous to you. And and your opponent's trying to do the same thing with their random cards. So it gives you kind of a unique battle each time you do it.
Yeah.
And you don't have to feel bad about it. You know, like
So like
you can make a cool board without screwing somebody.
Yeah, and people can take turns placing terrain on the table as normal, but then you have your choice of whatever terrain you want to place on the table to begin with. This is kind of adds like another layer of intrigue.
Yeah, it's some strategy
to the
because
game.
you have to build it off of a previous card. So you start by placing one on your own board edge, and then you build out in touching zones, right? So if you say, shit, I've got this like pond that I don't want anywhere near me, the usual reaction is, I'm just going to put it in a corner. But since you have to start out touching, if you have that really, really good piece of terrain that you want, in the center back edge of your table, so you can put your devastators in it and crush somebody, you might not be able to get that shitty piece of terrain fully out of the way.
Yeah.
It's kind of the other thing that happens. So it's a give and take. Seemed really interesting.
I like how you can basically make different worlds or different areas by changing the amount of cards in the deck, or like the different types of terrain you'll find in the deck.
Yeah.
But it was neat. So taking from that, you kind of noodled on that over the week to make it applicable to 30K.
Yeah. So I've roughly figured it out. Because, of course, 30K, you want about 25% of the table to have terrain, right?
Sure.
That's sort of the standard.
At a minimum.
Yeah, that's about what you want. So I built a deck, which presumably will go on one of our various websites at some point.
Various. We got one.
We got the one. It's true.
rr30k.com.
There it is. Jesse knows. I just get on here and talk about things. So it still needs a little bit of play testing. So, you feel like it's interesting, check it out and let me know what you think. But the idea behind it is deck of 52 cards. So if you really wanted to, you can do this with like a deck of playing cards. And then you deal out 8 cards to each player, because that should give you about 25%, maybe a little bit more, depending on what cards you draw. Yeah. So 13 of them are just clear. There's nothing there, right? And you use that to kind of protect an area that you might want open for your troops to get through, or, to stop your enemy, or just to like get from point A to point B. If you want to say, I've got this I've got a bit of dangerous terrain, I'm going to put that in my enemy's deployment zone because F that guy. So 13 blanks, 5 forest, 5 crater, 3 dangerous cards, because the big problem that I had looking at this is like Age of Hannibal is a historicals ancient game. It only has like 6 different types of terrain in it.
Yeah.
40K has a lot more. So the dangerous cards aren't terrain like on their own, but they turn any area terrain into dangerous as well as difficult. Which could be, like radiation from shell craters, or turns that jungle into some creepy beast inside, whatever.
Yep. But you have to place it on your string of terrain.
Yes, you have to place it on a piece of area terrain that you've already deployed.
Gotcha.
5 impassable terrain cards, 5 buildings, which are just like the 1 or 2 level buildings. And then a couple large building cards, because like Jesse said, this is all in like a 1 foot square grid. So there's 24 different ones. The large buildings are big enough to go across multiple grids, because everybody has a couple of those, right?
Typically.
Tank trap, something that is impassable to vehicles, but infantry and stuff can get through.
Yeah.
Some ruins, some scatter terrain, hills, big hills, barricade, and a river. So pretty much
overall,
anything that you get from a FLGS, like sitting around.
Yeah. And a lot of that is easily scratch built. Hills, barricades, forests.
Yeah.
Craters.
Like you can
like
do
overall,
all of it.
it's, yeah. And that being said, you wouldn't end up, hopefully, with everything on there.
No, you absolutely wouldn't, because you're dealing, well, almost certainly wouldn't, because you deal 8 cards. And the thing I like about the deck, especially for people that are playing with like their own like 1 table worth of terrain, is that as long as you keep the ratio 1 empty card, 1 clear card for every 2 cards with things in it, it should still hit your 25%. As long as you're dealing out, 8 cards to each player.
Yeah.
So if you go, that's really cool, but I don't have any forests,
Mm-hmm.
you don't need forests necessarily. Or if you want to go the other way and say, hey, I've got a ton of terrain, I want to do like a Death World table.
Add more.
Just take out those building cards maybe and put more forests or more dangerous cards in, stuff like that. So yeah,
I like it.
I've done a couple of like test builds.
Mhm.
Seem to work. Seem to make interesting stuff. Because even when you only have enough terrain to make like one table, find myself like for Titanicus.
Yeah.
For the long time, I had like a table of Titanicus terrain.
Sure.
I don't now because I'm a madman. But it was all the same.
Yeah.
They
Always
all
look
got
the
put in
same.
the same spot.
Yeah.
Like I had like 2 builds of table and that's all that got done. Because like I'd build it before somebody came over and I'm like, I want to make it balanced.
Right. You don't want to accidentally screw the other person.
Yeah. So it all just wound up being kind of the same game over and over again. So this way, even if you only have,
If Titanicus is a 4x4, so you would need even less stuff.
yeah, you
so
need even less to make that
I'll
work.
let you do math on that one.
I'm already doing it.
Oh, good.
So I'm out of my mind.
Oh god.
But yeah, seemed like a cool trick.
Yeah.
And like I said, like you can do it all with the deck of cards. When it goes on, it's all already set out to be like, oh, if you got the seven of diamonds, this is what you've pulled. So
Yeah.
less thinking than, a little more than Age of Hannibal, because Age of Hannibal has bespoke cards. It's just like, this is a forest. That keeps life easy.
Yeah.
But at least for a test period, it'll work out.
Yeah. And area terrain's still a thing in Age of Darkness, right?
It is.
Okay.
Yeah.
They want to make sure I was going crazy because
Yeah, and technically, so for Age of Hannibal, I forget what the deck, like their full deck is, but you're not supposed to play with all of it. You are supposed to make it, like
Mix
you
and
have
match.
the whole pile, and then you make like the deck of like 40,
yeah,
which is supposed to be themed to whatever world you're doing.
Right.
And like you do the same thing with this, like I said.
Badlands or forest.
Yeah.
And then you just
As long as you keep the ratio 2 cards of thing for each blank card, should work.
what?
I have to in turn need to play in the Florida terrain now.
Oh, well, swamp all the way down.
You can make your own trees. That can be your build for the month.
It's just a 52 card
No,
deck
no.
of swamp.
Just
Listen,
gators.
Oh yeah, listen, I'm gonna build Alligator Alley or something.
The alligator with the
Half-
knife stuck in its head.
One of those,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
also just a street and swamp and water next to it, and that's it.
And then half of the deck is just dangerous terrain upgrades.
Yeah, all of it. Honestly, it's Florida.
You got by a gator.
Oh no!
Big gator, tiny gator, alligator,
Alligator with Space Marine pauldrons on it.
Gatorade.
Goddamn
But yeah.
salamanders are at it again.
So yeah, I will definitely work on getting some for you guys to try out. Like you can, yeah, we'll get the preliminary rules out there. So if you guys want to take a look at it, and I'll see about getting a cool little deck to print out. If you guys want to try that out, I'm going to do it.
Yeah, he's just gonna do it, yeah.
Like I've given him the bug, and he's going to do it.
Yep. I
But
like
this-
making stupid stuff like that. So
Are you gonna, well, out of the 40DD Titanicus, are you gonna use the same cards, or are you gonna use
No,
a
Titanicus is
fully
gonna be a lot
built
easier
thing.
because Titanicus really only has
so you're
Scattered,
4
Warhound, Reaver,
Yeah.
Warlord.
so you're telling me you're gonna make 2 decks?
Yeah.
Okay.
just scattered Warhound, Reaver, Warlord, and then like the big versions of all of that.
Yeah.
And that should work well.
Already got plans.
Yeah.
There we go.
I'm excited for it.
Yeah.
So, again, shout out to Age of Hannibal. Like, they did it. If you're really hankering for some 6mm stuff, let them know.
Yeah. Like tiny Germans, maybe.
Yeah, like some
Ja, kleine Deutsche.
yeah. If somebody had some tiny Germans that she perhaps wished to paint, or he perhaps wished to paint some tiny Celts, perhaps.
Shut up.
Perhaps.
Shut up.
Yeah, they're both here now.
I know. Got you. This is an intervention. This isn't a podcast recording at all.
Listen,
It was all a trap.
Austin, I have no idea where things are anymore.
Ugh. Well, we'll
Oh,
blame
I know where the tiny Germans are.
Delightful. So yeah, I guess that's the other thing I've been up to.
Yeah, true.
Well, thanks for that. And thank you all for listening to another episode of the Remembrancers Retreat. an unofficial Warhammer 30K podcast. If you enjoyed this program, be sure to go over to Facebook and Twitter. You can follow us at RR30K Podcast. You can listen to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Visit our website, like I mentioned again, rr30k.com. You can follow us on Instagram at rr30k. And if you really like our program and would like to support us, go over to patreon.com/rr30k podcast. And right now, we'd like to thank all of our patrons, starting with our Praetor tier, Alex Self, Cheplanisar, Chris Mack, Garner.Triowo, Joe from Music City Heresy, Luke Rizzuto, Matthew Boyce, Mr. Baldwick, Nicholas Quenga, Sarah Luther, Taco Tuesday or Bust 22 Rock and Roll McDonald's, and What's Ligma? Our Legion Centurions, Aaron Maynard, Andrew N., Angry Boy, Dave Jones, Duncan, Ed, John Christensen, M. Tanzer, Gorkrow, Queen Corswain, Scott LeMay, and the original Applesauce. And finally, our Legion Sergeants, Agrippina, Emily O'Hare, Garrett Lowe, Mr. Sear, Nick Gillen, The Zoy, and What Do I Call Myself? Again, thank you all so much for becoming a patron, and we'll do a live show here pretty soon. I'm feeling it. So stick around for that. Exclusive live show. Stay tuned.
Dun, dun.
Yep, I will just point my finger at a calendar date and we'll just go with it.
Yeah.
But not today. We don't have a calendar.
Yeah. But
We need a bunch of darts on the calendar, and we need to learn how to throw the darts.
oh, we can throw darts. Anyway.
Without anybody getting hurt, I doubt.
Oh, that we'll see.
That wasn't a requirement.
That's true.
It is a requirement if I'm here. You know what? Do it while I'm in Las Vegas.
What happens when Caro's in Vegas?
Stays. While
In
Karo's
Virginia?
in Virginia.
Stays
while
in
Karo's-
Virginia.
Oh, Lord. Thanks again, guys, for listening. Have a good night. Keep those dice rolling, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.